Welcome back to the channel, guys. So we went on our camping trip and we have some unfortunate turn of events for the 530 break-in. We rode it around town here for a couple of rips, which did good, and then took it up north about 4 hours, unloaded it out of the trailer, went to the store, and about 10 minutes into a ride on the way back from the store, I thought I blew up something in the transmission, but we ended up losing the front sprocket bolt. Everything's fine. It didn't go through the case. It's scarred up right here and right here and a little bit right there on the frame. I'll probably be replacing the got a little bit of road rash right here and inside the case saver. Case saver did its job. The chain guide did its job. You know, it could have been a lot worse, but it wasn't, and it still runs like a champ. And I ended up having to order a new sprocket bolt with some factory Loctite on it, and I just went ahead and got a more torquey. So this had a 1545 Renthal setup on it, and I'll show you what we got. Okay, so we got a new front fender because the one that we have doesn't have that black piece on it. We got some orange hoses because the ones that we have on there are dry rotted. We got some new radiator mounts, so we'll use those. That way we can put the shrouds back on, the radiator shrouds. And we got some new grips, and another oil filter for the 3-hour break-in. Not even, I'm just gonna probably run it for another hour and then we'll do a fresh oil change, and then we should be good for another 8 to 10 hours. And then where is it? Over here in my mess, we got a Super Sprox kit. So it's a black with an orange washer ring. It also has the option for a blue one in there. So Super Sprox, this is a 1448 setup, so quite a bit torqueier, more torquey. I don't need to be going 100 miles an hour on the bike, although it will in 6th gear with this setup. But then, you know, in like 3rd gear, if I want to crack it open and ride a wheelie, I should be able to do that with the 1448 instead of a 1545, because the 1545, I think the whole point of that is to keep the engine noise down at highway speeds, but I'm not going to be really riding it on the highway. If I do, it's not going to be more than like 50 to maybe 60 miles an hour. So not too concerned with highway noise. And in 6th gear with this setup, if it is too high of a ratio, I do have that 45 that's on there right now, and I'll just throw that 45 back on there. So we might actually just test it out with this 1448 first, 1445, sorry, and then we'll go from there. So let's go ahead and start tearing these parts down, drain the antifreeze out of the bike, and start to get some of these parts put on there. go get your bike. Good job. Ow! Here we go, T! So while I was riding, I felt a little bit of a vibration, and I had this piece after the little mishap. I found that along the side of the road. I couldn't for the life of me figure out where the hell it went, and got up underneath it today and saw that it sits right on that nut right there that it snapped off. So when the chain came off, it broke off the guide and snapped the head of that bolt off. So what I did is I took a Dremel, this Dremel, and I carved a notch in it, and I'm backing it out, if I can get it to focus. I'm backing it out with a flathead, and as you can see, it luckily came right out. So I'm going to finish pulling that out, and we'll find a bolt that fits that and put that chain guide back on. All right, so you can see there was a little bit that came out of here, and I stuck this in where the filter was, and still some metal, lots of metal in the screens. Probably going to be pretty ongoing until we get the bike broken in and cycle through a few oil changes. But this is all like residual, and then stuff from new parts and new bearings and stuff just setting in. So hopefully it doesn't stay like this, otherwise that could be a problem. But bike seems to be running good, so we'll just clean all this out, get some new oil in it. So after you've got your screens back in, there's a little bleeder valve right here, this weep hole. It says on the side of the casing, oil gear oil level. Since we've married the cases in our rebuild and we did the oil migration fix, we can't actually use the window on the other side. It actually goes above it. So what we have to do after we put in, it's 0.9 for the clutch side and 0.6 for the engine side, or the stator side. And basically that's 1.5 quarts or liters, whatever, I think it's liters. But if you aren't measuring and you just fill, then you can pull this weep bolt, and if the oil, when the oil comes out of this, that means you've got a good enough level across, and the clutch side is good as well as the engine side. It'll always be above that window over there, since we actually drilled through the cases and did the oil migration fix. So let's pull that and check. Kind of hard to get your fingers in there. Might have to put the phone down for it, because I don't want it to fall into the bucket. But it did anyways, damn it. Okay, I'm gonna fish that out. I don't see any oil coming out just yet, so we're gonna feed it a little bit more. Okay, so I got it up to operating temperature. I ran it for a second, and it doesn't like gush out because I'm just right at just a little over 1.5 quarts. And you can see there's a very light running there. So we're good. So we'll stop there. Also wanted to show you guys here too. I cleaned this out before I drained the oil for the most part, and all of that you can see is metal shavings. So anytime you do a rebuild like this, you're gonna have some, especially whenever you took the bike apart and shit, we're like sluicing with gold for gold. But you're always gonna have some metal shavings for the first couple oil changes. But if it continues to be like this, then you know you're on the verge of another catastrophic failure. So hopefully this, we'll run it for another couple hours and we'll do another oil change. There's going to be quite a bit. Just like I reused the clutch plates and cleaned all the parts for on the inside before I put it back together. But for a bike that had a complete crank failure, there was some jets and ports in the engine that probably still had some. I mean, I didn't get it perfect because I don't have a vapor blaster or anything. I just used the parts washer and did the best I could, but the oil looks good. It doesn't seem to be burning any oil. It's pretty transparent, as you can see. It's just got a lot of metal shavings in it, and that could be just from, you know, bearings setting in, a little bit of rub here and there. So we'll run it for another couple hours and then we'll see if it's like this. I'm pretty sure this is the bulk of the problem, rinsing out of the engine from just the crank bearings going completely bad and literally filling every square inch of the bottom of that engine with shavings and particles from the failed crank bearing. So, all right, let's keep moving. So one of the best ways I've figured out how to do this is I try to cut the edge about as far away from the side, the edge of the plastic, as I want the sticker to be, because you don't want it right up on the edge of the plastic, otherwise you run the risk of it folding back and peeling. So we'll try to do this with the brake lever in the way, hopefully, or with the brake line in the way, hopefully it doesn't get in the way too bad. So it is a couple days later. Ran out of time whenever we were working before. Then I had some family come into town, so a little preoccupied, but that's cool. We're back at it. We did have a new addition to the crew. As you can see, I got a smoking deal on a nice new mini bike, so we got to get rid of maybe one, if not two, of these. We'll probably get rid of the other 65 that was giving us troubles when we tried to test drive it, and then maybe this other little two-stroke, and just keep the Honda and the KTM. That's a Ktm530, a 2019. So definitely more than enough bike for our kids to progress on for a little while, and strong enough to rip around the pits if I wanted to, but I'm not going to because I don't want to smoke the clutch. Anyways, we left off with the sprocket. Had a little bit of a break after I got the sprocket on the bike, so we need to get the chain on and adjust the alignment of the back tire. So as you can see, got the tire on there, sprocket, put a 15 tooth on the front with new Perma, used red Loctite on that. Like, I gooped it on there too, and then put it in there, and we'll tension that once we have the chain set to 40 foot-pounds, but I do not want to lose that again. So lots of Loctite on that. Got a new gold chain for it. Found replaced the slider underneath. Got the new rear sprocket, which is a 48. The previous setup was a 1545. So we added 2 teeth to the back, just give it a little bit more torque, which should be pretty good, I think. So, and then, so we got to take a couple links out. We're going to loosen up the back tire, slide up the axle blocks, probably about 3 millimeters or so. And then, yeah, we'll break the chain to size and get it fitted. Okay, well, that should be it for this video. I need to get something posted. It's been a while. I apologize for that. But in the interim and the delay of posting, we've done a lot. You know, we did a 50-mile bike ride. We did a half Ironman team relay. We completed, I showed some clips in the video of my daughter who did her first Ironman. And we not only went and took care of all of that, but we were able to get this bike back on the road after a troubling kind of break-in process. I've been riding it around town a little bit, and the thing just runs awesome. We did the break-in oil change and put some new sprockets and drivetrain on there, so should be good to go. We're gonna go camping again this weekend. Hopefully, maybe we'll get some footage of some riding up there while we're up there, but if not, I did want to shout out to all of my viewers. I've got 137 viewers now, so can't thank you guys enough for showing your interest, subscribing. If you like the content, feel free to post some suggestions, or even if I'm doing something wrong, you know, I'm self-taught, so there's no guarantee of what I'm doing. If it's the right way or not, I'm just trial by fire, kind of like most of the mechanics on here. So everything seems to be working good as it is. But anyways, I really appreciate you viewing. If you like the content, like and subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe. We'll see how big we can make the channel. But until then, we're gonna keep working on this thing. Let's go camping. Let's go break it in a little bit and have some fun. All right, thanks for watching. Peace.